Hello. Yep. So nothing's ever easy. Sorry about that. Let me get in here into the chat. All right, great. So gosh, it's dark in here. Sorry. That's what I was trying to do was figure out the light, but I can't really fix it. I'm gonna post just really quick on Facebook and let people know. And it's loud. Then I changed the link. Ugh. Okay. Hey. Sorry. So I'm glad some of you made it. I don't know how to fix that it's so dark in here. I apologize. So that's what I was trying to do. I don't know how many of you saw that crazy little 30-second clip or whatever of me like looking in the and playing with my hair and stuff. That's the way it goes. So anyway, welcome from South Carolina, Melanie. Well, I'm up in Wisconsin, so let's have a little chat about chili. Hey, Sandra, I'm glad you joined. So probably some people are looking for us because they are clicking on that first link, and I posted a new link. So hopefully they'll find their way over. So sorry. So I'm just figuring this out. I thought that I could stop and restart it because I did that one time, but it didn't let me do it, and that's why I got on early. So anyway, hopefully everybody will find us, and if not, you can watch it recorded, and I apologize for that. So I am in the upper room above Country Sampler in Spring Green, Wisconsin. Yay. So I left Asheville about 1:30 on Friday in the afternoon because I went in and shipped out orders, and worked on a few things before I left, tried to get everything out I could, and then left, and I got to Champaign, Illinois about 11:30, and I didn't have any troubles. It was all good traffic. And I spent the night there, and then I got up, and then I came up to Madison, and I met my friend Erlene Lapowski up here. And we've been friends for probably getting close to 20 years, maybe 20 years. No, I think it's about 18 years, which is crazy. So, hey, Allison from Rocky Mount. Hello, Cheryl from California. Um, so I'm just saying that I'm in Wisconsin for the next week, and it's pretty fun. And I'm in the upstairs facilities of Country Sampler and Spring Green. And if you've not been to Country Sampler, it's a really amazing shop. I've never been here. It's my first time. I've seen lots of a few videos of it, and I've certainly bought some things there. And I will enable you. So I'll be. We got here right before they closed on Saturday. And so we just kind of got the key, and I was wiped out from driving all day Friday and part of the day Saturday, and so we just kind of checked in and came upstairs and crashed. So the shop closed at 4 o'clock, and we didn't really get to see much of it. I did a quick little walkthrough, but I will do a nice video or two while I'm here. It's a really beautiful shop, and I think you'll love seeing it. And you might even see something that you just must have. And I'm totally all for it. I'm hoping I find some things I must have too. So, hey, Linda from Tallahassee. Um, yeah, Sandra, it's really neat. So I didn't have any trouble getting up here. I did drive all the way. And, the only thing I can say is that I went to get the oil changed in my car before I came, and $3,000 later, I felt like it was safe to bring. And so that was unfortunate. But I guess the beauty of that is I needed to do it anyway. And so it's fine. Whenever I'm going on a stitchy trip, I don't know about you guys, but I always want to drive because I can't get on. It's hard for me to get all my stuff on the plane. Um, anyway, so I did drive, and I brought way too many things. And some of them I'll show you tonight. I was kind of hoping you could get a good view of the room, but it is so dark. I'll have to do a video of the upstairs for you before I leave and post it because it's neat up here. It's We'd love to do something like this at Sassy Jack's. I don't think we can use the upstairs of our shop. We have a couple guest rooms up there, but I think we're going to have to use one of those. One of them's an office. One room is an office, and then there's a beautiful bathroom up there, huge. And we made it to be two guest rooms and an office, and then this beautiful bathroom with a clawfoot tub and all that good stuff up there. But one of those guest rooms we may end up using as a multi-purpose room, at least for a little while, because we need a place to ship. It's really hard for us to get our shipping done. We end up doing it out in the body of the shop, and that's not a good thing. But we are still thinking about building our classroom building, and we've not been able to contract with anybody since Helene, because all the contractors are super busy doing repair work and restoration. So that's not been an option for us last year. So we'll see how this next year goes. But it would be great if we could build the class. Hey, hey, Lori, I'm glad you got on. It would be great if we could build the classroom, and then maybe we'll think about putting a little loft onto it. I hate doing lofts for accommodations if there's not an elevator, and elevators get really expensive. There is no elevator here. And so, I brought all the luggage up the stairs. Arlene and I did. And there's no elevator at our shop. Most shops don't have an elevator. So anyway, I'm torn about that, but we'll see. We'll see what we see. I like the way it's set up here. So it's one huge room. It's kind of set up for quilters. So it's one huge room for a common room, and it's got like five, 6 foot by 3 foot tables in here for, sturdy enough for quilting machines, or, all kinds of stitchy frames. Hey, Michelle. And and then there's a kitchen, kind of a nice little open kitchen. And there are 3 bedrooms. 2 of the bedrooms each sleep 2 people in single beds. So there's 2 single beds each in 2 of the bedrooms. So that's 4. And then the back bedroom has 3 single beds in it. So it actually sleeps 7 in single beds. And then it's got 2 bathrooms, and it's got a little outdoor deck. So it's very, very conducive to creating. And there's these really amazing guest books here going back in time for, I don't know, 10 years at least, maybe more. And I flipped through it really quick. And, there's so many talented people have stayed here. Like, I know the last big group that was up here was Needlework Press and some friends a couple weeks ago. And so a lot of designers will come here and stay just to get away for a little while. And I found out about it. Well, I knew about it, but I found out it was something we could do when Arlene researched where we could stay and stitch together. Because Arlene is from Madison, Wisconsin, and this is 30 minutes from Madison. So she knew about it. But the guest book has drawings in it from all kinds of different people. And, there's signatures in there for every time they've stayed. And there was several, I didn't read them all, but several really sweet ones from Barb and Alma of Blackbird. And so that was just kind of touching to see that. So anyway, it's neat. It's neat. I wish I could draw. I draw one in there, but I can't draw. I'm not a drawer. Paducah. Well, Lori, hey, Paducah. So I have been to Paducah once, just through there. Donna, hey, Donna from Canton, Michigan. From Alberta. Hey, Debbie. Miss that. So fun. I like seeing where everybody's from on there. So I said it was a potluck night. So that means all bets are off. So, and we used to do it during pandemic, and it was fun. And it was usually I'll say it's potluck when I'm just like, kind of just have a whole bunch of things in my head, or I'm running late or whatever. So there were lots of things I wanted to do tonight, but we really messed around several weeks trying to do pictures and stuff, and I just didn't have it in me to do all that again. And I just wanted to talk to you a little bit and just visit. I just wanted to visit. And I wanted to talk to you about where I am and what's going on here, and what my plan for the week is, and then a few other things. So I'm excited. And so, yeah, it's been a really easy day. We haven't gone outside. We didn't even go outside. We fix our food here, and we've stitched and we've worked on some joint projects, and it's just been great so far, and it's only day one. So I'm actually here through Thursday of this coming week, and then on Friday I drive back. And so I should be there in time to open the shop on Saturday. That is the plan. So if you're wondering, hopefully the shop will be open on Saturday, bar some kind of emergency. I did have my helpers working Saturday, but life happened, and so they both have to do other things. So you'll be stuck with me Saturday. It'll be fun. Um, so yeah, there's all that. So I the purpose of this trip was for me to spend time with my friend Erlene, and for Erlene and I to work on some projects that we kind of wanted to start together and have been putting off. And one of them is the Blackiston pear. And I don't have a picture of it in front of me. I should, but I don't. I might see if I can pull it up real quick on my phone, which I don't know if you'll be able to see that. But if you've been following Beth Ellicott, she's been doing them. She's done this a few of them, I mean, but she has done hers a little bit differently. Um, we're doing ours as instructed. Beth took a detour on hers, and that's okay because hers is beautiful. Let me just see if I can find a picture of it to show you it. And then I shall. Yes, okay. So try to enlarge it here. This is from Inspirations magazine. So for as well as you can see that is what the pear looks like. So it's a black work pear. It's actually done with DMCs and a little bit of chronic, and it's done in those panels, and then you put it together. And that seems like it wouldn't be too challenging. The issue is that they ask you to stitch with. I've got a bunch of stuff laid up here to show you. They ask you to stitch with linen, like a platinum colored linen, which is what this is, but then with georgette on the back. And if you've ever done anything with georgette silk, it's painful. And so there was this whole process to get the silk laid out and get the linen attached to it. And then it has to be stretched like a piece of embroidery. So we've gotten this far with it, which doesn't look like much, but trust me, that's fantastic. That's way further than we got the last time that we worked on it. Um, so we've got to get some stretcher bars. I brought a slate frame, but it's a really big slate frame, and I brought it for something else. And so I don't want to put that on it. And Erlene doesn't have a slate frame. So, and she brought stretcher bars, but they're the wrong size. So tomorrow morning, we're going back to Lynn's of Madison. So if you didn't watch that video on Facebook, I would encourage you to go do that. It's funny because I recorded the whole video, and then I realized that it wasn't recording. Hey, Kathy from Portland. Yay. And so I did another one. But Lynn is super sweet. And what I didn't really get out in the video a lot is that she is going to celebrate their 45th anniversary for the shop. 45 years. That's wild. That's the longest I've heard from a shop. Kathy, was it Kathy? We know it was Johnson City Cross Stitch and Crafts had their 30th this year, and I've heard a few in the 30s, but that's the first one I've heard about 45. So 2 weeks in November. In 2 weeks in November, I think it's like I forget what weekend in November. I guess the second weekend. They'll be celebrating, and they're going to have a lot of fun stuff going on. So go out and follow them. And if there was anything there that you saw that you need, give Lynn a call. She was really sweet. I like her. And it's a really neat little shop. And when I'm home, I will find my whip that I bought there, and I'll show it to you. My project. I love it. I love it. It's bats hanging from a tree, and they look like little pumpkins. So that's been 15 years ago, I think. It's been a long time since I've been here. So anyway, that was fun. So I still want to stitch that. It's one of the things that's in my pile to stitch. I still want to do it. So Erlene and I both wanted to do the pear. And when we get the stretcher bars, we're going to go to Lynn's tomorrow in Madison. We're going to get the stretcher bars, and we're going to get that started. And so now that we've got all the pieces of fabric together, stretch it on some stretcher bars. And then we will start doing it's black work, but it's done with um, a different type of DMC thread that's variegated, and it's not their typical variegated. I think it's a Coloris variegated, so it's really kind of neat. Hey, Ellen, and so it's going to be. I think it'll be one of my first time stitching with that thread, so I'm looking forward to that. And then I wasn't able to find for us the Japanese thread that it called for, and so I substituted a different metallic. I probably have that Japanese thread in my gold work stuff now, so I'll look at it and see. But we'll end up using what we've got, and we're both looking forward to it. So hopefully we'll get kind of pretty far along on that project. We won't finish it, but we'll get it started. And the starting on this one was the hard part. It's not usually like that, but it was. Um, the other thing that we brought together to work on is a Trish Newen project. And Erlene has her stitched. It's called Fancy Finishes. And I don't have mine over here. I'll show you. But Erlene has her stitched. It's a really pretty little Christmas ornament. And then you actually, Trish is showing you how to do an edging finish that I have not seen. And Trish Newen is amazing. She does a lot of historical research on needlework. She's also an engineer by trade. Let me pull it up and see if I can give you a picture of that. I promise you other things I did put out for us to look at. Let's have a look. Well, I don't see that on her page here. Let me see if I can find it. She does beautiful things. So if you are so inclined, you can go look at her website. She does some really nice videos and stuff too. So this is the ornament. First you stitch it, and it looks like it's stitch over one, but it's not. It's over two. But then the course is really learning how to do this edge finish, which is kind of like little leaves on it. And it's done with a different kind of trim. And that is the part that's the tricky part. And so Erlene has her stitched. I don't have mine stitched yet. That blue sky is all stitched, and it's like a continental stitch or half of a cross stitch kind of. So I doubt that I'll get mine stitched, but Erlene has hers ready to finish. And so I'm going to go ahead and prep my finishing pieces for it while she finishes hers. So we'll have that kind of done. Erlene is a retired professor of pharmacy at the University of Florida. So she and her husband owned pharmacies here in Wisconsin, in Madison, and they also own some Hallmark shops. That's fun. And then Erlene took a job teaching at University of Florida, and so they moved to Gainesville, and they've been there ever since. But they travel back and forth because their family's still up here. And anyway, she retired probably, I don't know, less than a decade ago. But I remember when she was teaching, we would get together on stitching retreats and stuff, and she would have to teach and stuff. And she was teaching when they started doing virtual classes, which was fun. Yeah, the edging's really pretty, Lori. It's very fiddly. And but you can take that class. I think she's got it out there. And Trish records videos and stuff, so we just watched the videos earlier of this finishing technique, and it's pretty good. So that's the other thing. I've got something new I'm going to start because I can. That's not an Erlene and Kim project, but I love it. I grabbed it on my way out. I'll take it out of the bag. It's just really cute. And we had the whole kit. And so it's a Christmas stitch. And I stitch in season pretty much. And it's a little early for me because it's not Halloween yet. But there's too much light on this one. Too much of the light for this one's. But so now you can see it. So it's called Seas and Greetings. And it's ink circles. And Tracy, who's the designer for ink circles, always has such wonderful play on words. And it looks like a little duchy with all the boats and the little people, but the little people are Santa Clauses. which I'm in love with. And so this came out at market last year, and it came out with full with you could do it however, but we bought some full kits. We've got the chart too. But I had the it came with the threads and the fabric, the linen, and so I've already ironed this linen. So you can see it's going to look like an ocean, right? So I'm pretty stoked about that. I'm going to start that. It's not too big. I think I can knock that out. Not this week, but pretty quickly. I'm getting my this all wrinkled. We can't have that. That's crazy. Okay. Um the other thing that Arlene and I did together, she didn't bring this with her. But she's done more work on it than I have. 2 years ago, we took a workshop with Amy Minton, and I had to leave to go to market because it happened right before market. I had to leave to go to market, so I didn't get to sit through the class, but I bought the kit. I sat through another class with Amy, which is a lot of fun, which I also brought, but it's in the car. So you won't get to see it today, but another time. And I did a lot of work on it. That's what it goes. But this one I was kind of reading through earlier because I don't know about you, but I don't stitch when I get tired. Hey, Ellen. Um, I don't stitch when I get tired. If I get tired, I can do cross stitch, a little bit of cross stitch. But even that, there's a point in there where I'm like, I'm done. So I was kind of looking at my book because, like I said yesterday, I was just tired. And this I had the whole kit up here for, and so I was reading through it. But I want to show you a picture of it. So it's a Fractor trifold sewing book. And we did it in Williamsburg, which has some Fractors in the museum collection there. And so it's really pretty cool. It's an Amy Mitten class. And I want to talk to you about that because I got something to tell you about that. But it's pretty neat. Like both of the classes that we took with Amy that year had pre-printed fabric that we then stitched on top of. And so there's a ton of specialty stitches and stuff in here. Some really cool things that you get to learn and do. And the thing is just gorgeous. So as I make it, I will post about it. That's a piece of it. I want to show you this picture because this kind of illustrates. And that you saw the notebook, it was huge. But so if you look at this picture, you see how this thing here in the middle, that's a piece of like heavyweight cardstock that almost feels like leather. Like it's very leathery feeling. And so that's part of it. And you see you wrap these like clipper things, and then you make these thread winders and they fit in there. And you see how that leathery thing closes down? It's like a Ork keep or something like that. So it's a little sewing book. It's just really cool. Some of Amy's classes, and Amy is in Canada, and her company name is Fibers to Die For. And she does a lot of smalls for caskets. She's also done this around the world sampler trip. So she chooses, kind of like we're doing in the soiree, a genre of sampler, and she'll reproduce it. And then you can buy the kit for that. And so you've got casket smalls out there, which are amazing. And then you've got that around the world thing. And then she does this other thing. And there's a reason why her company's called Fibers to Die For. It's DYE, Die For. She dyes the fibers. So she does some silks, which are beautiful and great. Beautiful silks. But she writes these little like murder mysteries. And so the other class that I took with Amy, and I might have told you about it in a floss tube like right afterwards, I can't remember. But because it was at Williamsburg, it was based on the governor's palace there. And it was a pre-printed fabric. And then you stitched all these things in it. And then you added things to it. Like there was like a gunnery room. If you've ever been to an old castle or an old house where they have like an artillery room, sometimes they have all these knives out on the wall or swords or guns, to basically show their prowess, in defending their castle or whatever. And, old palaces like that will have them too. Well, to illustrate whatever this was, I think there were guns in this one. It was needles. And so the needles then pinned into like the picture, and it's just perfect. I can't wait to show it to you another time. But each little section of needlework had a little story. And so when we went to class, she had already pre-selected before we got there the people who were going to play the different characters in the murder mystery. And they already read their part and knew their part, but they didn't know anything else. And so when we sat down in the class, we for each chapter at the beginning of it, we would read the little mystery. And so whoever had what part would read their part or say their part. And it was just the neatest thing. And to be honest with you, I had to leave early that class, like right before the end, and I've not read the last few chapters. So I was saving it till I got there, and I still haven't. And so it was just really fun, like so Fibers to Die For, like a murder mystery kind of thing. And so it was just really neat. You can see me better without that light on my face. That's wild. So we just won't put that back on my face. Um, so Amy is going to teach for us in 2026. And I'm very, very excited. Originally, we were going to bring her down and she was going to teach in person, but she's got some things going on and it's not going to be as easy for her to travel. She's fine, but she's got some things she's got to take care of. And it's just a lot going on in her life, and life happens to people. So we decided that we would do a Zoom class. So all of you will have the chance to take a class with Amy Minton. And that's exciting because that does not happen often. And Amy is a fantastic needlework teacher. And on top of that, she's just got one of the best personalities in the business. She is a lot of fun, as you might gather from the whole murder mystery thing. And her stitch instructions. So this is for the Fractor book. I mean, they're, I don't know, 60 pages. 75 I'm looking at. So there's more than that because she takes a ton of good pictures, really good pictures, and goes into every little detail of construction. So this is a class that you can definitely do on Zoom, and you'll have the instruction manual. You can definitely finish it. So more about it. I've got to pick it. So I'm not sure what it's going to be, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a Dutch sampler because I love Dutch samplers and I've got a lot of them that I want to premiere next year. Next year is going to be the year of Holland for me. Dutch and Friesen samplers. And I've been meaning to do it for a while and I just love them. So I've got some other ones that are going to come out too, but we'll get at least 3 or 4 Dutch samplers out next year. And so we'll save at least one for you for that class period. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a hybrid. And so if you're local or you want to travel, we'll have 24 spots open where you can come and you can do the whole in-person class thing. You'll get all the treatment that we usually do for Sassy Jacks. And then the rest of you who can't travel can do it on Zoom with Amy. So we're going to do a hybrid workshop, and I think you'll love it. So I've got it figured out of how to do it, and I'll test it before then. That I've no doubt that you're going to love it. So we've been doing Zoom workshops for a long time, and we've been doing in-person workshops for a long time. And, we've got 3 huge TV setups that we can, get going for, Zoom. So I'm looking forward to it. I think you'll have a good time. It will be in the fall next year, but as soon as I get it all settled with Amy, I'll open up registration so you can hold your spot. And then, we won't make you pay the whole thing at once. And I just want you to know for sure and certain that if something comes up and you have to cancel with us, if you cancel before a certain day, we'll give you everything back if we can fill your spot. If we can't fill your spot, we'll give you everything back but the deposit. Or if you want, we're happy to give you a gift certificate, or because it's a Zoom class, you can get the kit. You'll probably have the kit because this one might have some pre-stitch. Talk to Amy about it, but it might have some pre-stitch and you'll be doing some finishing in class. We'll see. I'm not sure yet. I've got to figure it out, but it's going to be fun. But I guess I'm just bringing that up because I've had some friends that had to cancel their spots in some other places. And we had people that, every class we have at least one person that has to cancel. And it happened to us with Romy and Simona. And she didn't cancel until like the week of, but I gave her an option of the kit or like a gift certificate for the value of the class, and she took the gift certificate. But we always make it work for you. We don't keep your money without giving you value. We don't do that. We've never ever done that, and we will never ever do that. So just rest assured that if you book for a class with us for a class that's in the future, we're going to honor your faith in us, so you don't ever have to worry about that. Hey, Sandy from Virginia, Northern Virginia. um, and the other thing I just want to mention real quick is that we are, I mean, you can tell, right? So I'm up here. I've already been to Lens of Madison, and I already took a video there, and I'll show you a video of Country Sampler. I mean, I love you guys, and I love how much you love our shop. Um, but I would be floored if you didn't enjoy going to other shops too. There would be something wrong with you. I'm just gonna say it. We, I do this because I love it, and I'm pretty sure you do it because you love it too. And so, why wouldn't you want to experience all the things, right? So, I just don't want you to ever feel bad about visiting another shop if you patron our shop on a regular basis, or visiting us if you patron somebody else on a regular basis. We appreciate you for that. And if you don't ever get to come and shop with us, but you just hang out with us online, I'm pretty stoked about that too. So, I mean, we have to keep the lights on, we have to sell things to make the shop thing work. And we all know that. But I just want you to know that I I expect you to do all the things and enjoy all the places, and tell me about them if they're good, because I want to go too. So I just want to throw that out there. And if you followed me for any length of time, I do that. So if I go somewhere, I like to. I don't brag about things, but I do show you things. I do try to show you things. I try not to be a braggart, but I learned that word when I was living in Holland. But I do try to show you the shops and stuff, because I think it's important, and to meet the shop owners. I mean, they do what they do because they love it. They work so hard, and I know how hard they work, and most of you know how hard we all work. So, anyway, I just wanted to put that out there and share that with you. I think that needs to happen more often in the world. And, I firmly believe that a rising tide does lift all boats. And so we have to, work for the good of all of us, and all of us will end up good. That's the way it goes. So, on that note, I was super excited to see all the posts of Johnson City's Christmas thing that they're doing. I will tell you that Privies and Prims, Doreen Brannon, has posted her Christmas retreat, and that is in Maggie Valley, which is 40 minutes from us. So if you want to come to the mountains in December, check that out. It's under Privies and Prims, Doreen Brannon. So it's a fun retreat. I've been there a few times. She does it 2 or 3 times a year. This is the first time it's been at Christmas. But Asheville and Waynesville and all our little towns are so special and so beautiful at Christmas time. So if you can come, come. And if you can't come, join us online, and, just make sure you're in your Stitchy groups around that time, and just have fun with us there. But if you can come to that, come to that. That'd be great. We're actually going to take a little trunk show down there this year. That was Doreen. Dottie of Stitch and Dottie. She's fantastic. She's a lot of fun. Dottie Crisp. She has a retreat going on. I can't tell you when, because it's sold out and I didn't get to go. But you should be following Dottie, because I expect that she'll do another one. And that's pretty exciting. I think it's in Greenville, South Carolina. So it's also really close to us. It's within 45 minutes drive from us. So you can definitely, see all the shops and do all the things. But Dottie is a really sweet person, and she does a floss tube. So if you haven't watched Stitch and Dottie, I think is what it's called. One of you can correct me if I'm wrong. You want to check her out too, because she's really sweet. and her retreat's going to be a lot of fun. Romy just finished up a retreat in Tampa. I saw that posted, and that was after they left us. So they came up to the show that happened in Troy, Michigan, which I don't know much about. Then they came to us for a weekend, and then they went down to Tampa. And so it looked like Anna Williamson does the ones in Florida, Jacksonville, and Tampa, and it looked like a great retreat. So the kits from our retreat here last weekend with Romy of Romy's Creations and Simona of Mandy DiDonna will be going on sale sometime this week. We bought extra kits, and so we're gonna put those up for you. They are both Halloween focused, and they're beautiful. And I've got a picture of Romy's here, but go to our website because it's so much prettier on our website. But you see that cool squirrel? So it's an etui box, and you just stitch all the sides, and then it just stands up together. There's like, 6 sides to it. And then the little tiny pyramid, that's a little tiny thing that opens up, and you see it on the bottom. That's it there on the bottom. And then there's a fob, a little tiny Biscorni fob. This retreat with Romy and Simona, and those of you that were there, was just really nice. It was such a fun retreat. Everybody was really genuinely happy to be there. I think over half the people were new. I don't know that that's ever happened to us. Even at our first retreat, I knew pretty much everybody there. So it was really neat that we had so many new people. I mean, and some of them, it was their first retreat, and they just really had a good time, and it made me really happy. Um, yeah, Allison, you're right. Fall is my favorite too. So that one was really special. And so we're going to be bringing Romy back next year, and hopefully Simona um, in September. And I've got to firm that date up with the hotel. But as soon as I hear back from the hotel, I will open that up for you. Um, One project is going to be fall, and one is going to be Halloween. Because I know some of you don't like to stitch Halloween. So one is fall and one is Halloween. And so that'll be in the fall of next year. So we've got a lot of stuff going on. Also, next year, we have Sharon Huffstetler, who's coming in the spring to do a really beautiful, um, a little Scottish sampler. I actually stitched the model for it. I'm so excited. It's beautiful. It's hanging in the shop. But she's created a teaching piece with it because it's got some specialty stitches and it's wonderful. And so it's going to be a little sampler and a little needle roll, and it is beautiful. And if you don't follow Sharon Huffstetler on Instagram and Facebook, you should do that. Her company's name is Thy Needles Work. And we were so blessed to be involved with Sharon from day negative 15. So Sharon came into the shop one time, and she had this sampler, and I said, Sharon, you should chart that. And she was like, well, I'm not really blah blah blah. I said, you know what, we'll help you. And so we did. That's back in the day when Allie was with us, and we helped her. She did the charting, and we did the booklet design, and we did 4 or 5 with her. And then we kind of pushed her out of the nest a little bit because we knew she could do it. And she's been doing fine. And she does beautiful, beautiful sampler reproductions, but she does beautiful stitching. So make sure that you come to the shop sometime and see her models of her completed pieces, but also follow her online because she stitches beauties, just some beautiful things. And her quality of needlework is so excellent. Um, so that will be happening in the spring. And then we've got our 2 soirees, and we've got Jackie Duplessis coming in the spring. And I'm trying to firm stuff up with Jackie for that. And I might, unless something comes up. Oh, we've got Linda Vinson too. I don't want to forget about Linda. And that's a Zoom class. So we may do a hybrid on that too. And that one will definitely be definitely you'll be able to do pre-stitch for that, and the workshop will be the finishing. So Linda's working on the kits, and a lot of you saw the piece, the project in one of the soirees, but if you didn't, you will see it. I'll get it posted, but I'm waiting for her to firm up her kits and stuff so we know the cost and everything. But We will start shipping out kits as soon as we get you registered on that. And then you'll have a few months to stitch, and then we'll do some finishing. And she allows us to record it. And so it'll be on Zoom, but you'll also be able to replay that finishing stuff too and get those finished. If you were in the Romy and Simona, and even if you weren't, if you buy a kit, I'm going to be recording my finishing. So you'll be able to see videos of the finishing for that, for both projects. Simona's is really beautiful too. I don't have a picture of it in front of me, but it's called the Haunted Sewing Set, and it's or Spooky Sewing Set. And Romy's was Sassy Little Halloween, of course. Um, and so the Spooky Sewing Set's really pretty too, and I've been working on that. It's cute. So they're Halloween, but they're not scary and witchy. They're just cute, you know. Um, so keep an eye out for those kits. I know that the kits from Romy are going to sell really quick because I've already sorry, that's my honey calling me. He does not know what I'm doing. Shame on him. He should be watching my YouTube live. So we should tell him that. Hey.
Hey, you still out and about?
No, you know what? I'm on YouTube live and I put you on here with me because why aren't you watching me?
Good question.
I hope you're embarrassed now because this video will be out there forever.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to let you go so you can pull me up on the TV.
All right.
I love you. Bye.
I love you too. Bye.
That'll teach him, won't it? So that was Mr. Everett. Anyway, we shouldn't embarrass our husbands like that. He's a good fella, but he took it in good stride, and he won't actually turn on the YouTube live. I'm sure he won't. He gets so tired of yeah, who's that guy eating our pizza? That's a funny story, Lori. He gets so tired of me editing the videos because I go through them over and over and over when it's a floss tube. So funny. Okay, well that was fun. Poor Everett. He's such a good boy too. Oh. Oh, what was I going to say? Oh, the kits. So I've already had a lot of requests from Anna Williamson's retreat, that Stitch Tampa, about Romy's kits. So just be on the lookout for it. Probably going to try to get it ready and get it posted maybe tomorrow. So keep a lookout for that. I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll post on my Facebook page when they're out there. And honestly, if we sell out Romy, will make us more. It'll be okay. So don't worry. The other thing that we have from Romy, and it's getting a little long in the tooth, a little late in the day, but we purchased from her some of her Halloween mystery kits. And Miss Lori, I sent you one. I sent you one before I left on Friday. That's why I was late leaving. No, I'm just kidding. But I did. It was one of the last things I shipped out. So, Lori, you should have yours maybe Tuesday, if not before, hopefully before Halloween. But if you want one of Romy's Halloween mystery kits, I got one, and it's really cool. It's pretty cool. You'll like it. It's got a neat chart in it. It's got some fun stuff in it. So we have not a lot, maybe 8 of those. I'll put them online tomorrow, and you guys can jump out and purchase those. They're not too expensive. Well, Lori, I wasn't going to be back before Halloween. I was coming back on Halloween, and I wanted you to have it. So that's why I sent it. You're welcome. Okay, let me show you what I've been working on today, because I didn't stitch last night. Well, I did stitch. I stitched on one of the projects from last weekend last time. So last summer, you might remember me saying somewhere along the way that I took some Royal School of Needlework courses in Kentucky because they came over to Kentucky. And I took three courses. 2 were gold work and 1 was embroidery with a little bit of gold work. And I brought 2 of those pieces with me because one of them I finished. It was that Tudor heart. I showed it to you. And I brought my other 2 pieces with me, and I brought with me another gold work class that I've been doing with one of the same tutors. Well, this is called the Loving Letter Case, and it's a replica. There is a picture of the antique at the bottom. You can see it's very nicely preserved, but this is the replica. And it's one of about 3 of these letter cases that Zena Casman, and if you don't follow her, you should, has designed. And it actually was a letter case. and probably I don't know what date Zena puts on it. She says 18th century, so that's 1700s. That's what I would have guessed without looking. So 1700s, and it was a very fancy embroidered linen fold over, and you would put letters in it, like sweet letters, like love letters and things, and you would keep it in there. And so antique down there and reproduction here. And I've showed it to you before last year or so. I worked on it a little bit today, not much, but this is where I am on it. So I might I might get it finished this week or close to finished. And then the question's going to be is do I make it into a real letter case and make a back and stuff for it, or do I frame it? And I'm not quite sure, to be honest, what I want to do with it. And if y- yeah, I'm interested in your opinion if you want to put a comment in there. But this was all new for me. So this was the first real, like, gold work and silk shading work that I ever did. And it's not really silk shading, it's mostly just silk satin stitches. And they are like some stem stitches in there. Anyway, I'm loving it and I'm looking forward to finishing it. But the way this is put together, yeah, see the back, there's not a lot of stitching in the back. It's mostly surface stitching. You've got this piece of muslin on the back, and then you've got your piece of linen on the front. And this is not a counted linen, this is an embroidery linen. And so you tack them together. There's little tiny tacking stitches that join the two pieces together after you stretch them on the hoop so that as they loosen on the hoop, which this one did, you can tighten it up. And you need this extra piece of fabric behind it to give stability to it because of these some of these threads are heavy threads. You can see they're metal threads. They're heavier threads. And so you need some stability to the fabric so that your threads don't just pull through. So that's what that second layer is for. And on that note, that's what that second layer is for on this crazy Georgette and linen thing for the pair. So this Georgette, it's very thin and it's silk and it's kind of annoying. Um, but it's there to give a little bit of stability to the back of the linen. That is a counted linen. That one is for the pair. Um, Also to give it a little bit of color blocking so that that green color, just a tinge of it's going to show through that platinum linen, but it actually does. I didn't think that it would do anything, but now that it's on there, it does. And it gives stability to the back stitch, and it also is going to trap in there all the stuffing. So when we stuff that pair, and we'll probably put something in it to give it some weight, it keeps that inside. So that muslin is dense enough that nothing's going to get through the weave. And so when you're stuffing things, that's kind of one of the important things is that you don't want the stuffing. I'm going to show you this too when I get through here in a minute. I'm contorting myself. I want to show you that. Don't let me forget. That second layer also keeps any kind of stuffing and stuff in there. So you'd make the bag. Um, that's great. I'll bring it to you. You can make me the bag, Lori. Just kidding. Lori makes beautiful bags. Lori is local to us, if you haven't figured that out. Sort of. She has to drive an hour to get to Stitch Group, which is crazy town. But she drives from Hendersonville, which should not be an hour, but it is an hour and sometimes 3 hours. I mean, sometimes it's taken them like literally 2 hours to get to us. It's disheartening. And I've got another friend out there too that comes in for Stitch Group and drives that far. And I love you guys. I really do. But that's a long way. Not that I wouldn't do it. I would drive that far for Stitch Group in a heartbeat. Okay, so that's one of the things that I've been working on. The other one is the thistle. Um, Jenny and you both love it. Good. Oh, you love the Stitch Group. Good. Yeah. Jenny is Lori's sister, and I love it when they come together because they're fun. They're fun. They make me laugh. The Dunolly thistle, and this is the project from Scotland, which I know I've talked to you to death about. But I worked on it some today, and I'm intentionally going about it in a certain order. So I finished the bottom of this leaf today. Um, I finished the bottom of that leaf, and I put what's called soft string, this yellow string here. I put that string down to stitch the next parts. Um, and I'm leaving the thistle heads. You see, I put one thistle together when I was in Scotland, so I knew how to do it. It has a little bit of more decoration out here on the tip of it, but I'm not putting that on till the end because it's delicate and it'll get messed up. Um, but for that reason, I'm doing the leaves first, and I'm leaving those other two thistle heads open because I like to use them for pincushions. So I did all the padding because it's like 3 layers of padding under there. And this yellow string here is also a type of padding because then you lay the gold stitches over it, which I have now finished on this leaf. The next leaf, like we'll have it laid over it too. Um, but I often take my needle and jab it in this padding. So it's kind of a ready-made pin cushion. So I'm going to leave them till I get to that part. Also, I don't want to mess it up. I did this one because I wanted to see how to do it. But I don't want to do the others until almost the end, until it's time to do them really, until I'm getting close to done. Um, there's a lot more to this, and at first I had hopes that I might finish it this week, and it takes me about an hour and a half to stitch about an inch and a half a leaf. Um, so I've spent about 4 hours, maybe five, on this leaf. I spent a lot of time on this part, a lot. It was even harder. And this whole section is done like that. Um, it this was the hard part to turn this curve. I don't know how well you can see that. And it's couching. So you lay the thread on the top and then you do a little caterpillar stitch over it and you couch it down. And that's what this one is too, this other leaf. Those spangles on there, I said before, but they are real metal. They're not sequins made out of plastic. They're real metal spangles, and they will tarnish over time. Um, and some of these other metal threads might have enough real metal gold in them to tarnish, but not, they don't have much gold in them, but they'll still tarnish. And these will, I can see my fingerprints on these where I touched them. I tried to use tweezers to put them on there and not touch them, but now they've gotten touched a lot. So probably this particular thistle will be silvery looking or black, and these still be shiny in about 10 or 15 years. Now this also has the just like the other one we looked at, the two pieces. So this is a non-counted linen, green linen, and this is a green muslin. And you can see the back of gold work never really shows a lot. Um, this has more work on the back than it should. It's supposed to be laid stitches, which is what this area is, where you kind of come up on one side and you just jump over a little bit to the edge and you go back down on that side. Instead of zigzagging back and forth like a satin stitch, you come up, go over, go down. It saves thread because you're not wasting that thread on the back. But to get the angle right on some of these, I did satin stitches basically, but I still couched them down. But I did more work on the back than I should have. I wasted a lot of thread back there, but that's okay because I'm learning and I like what that looks like better. So that's the other piece I'm working on. And I really was hoping that I would get it done, but I won't. But I'll make some good progress. And I've got the other gold work piece that it's called Elizabethan Rose. And I think I showed you that before. So yeah, the thistle, I love the thistle. So Zena, the designer of the thistle, she's a really great designer. And there's another piece that I brought with me that I'm probably running out of time to show you, but it's more embroidery. And I haven't worked on it since I left Scotland. I mean, not but since I left Kentucky, so it's a year old. But I want to pull it out and do a little bit of work on it just to keep myself familiar with it. And it'll take me longer to finish, but it's really beautiful. It's kind of an homage to Elizabeth II, and I love her. It's a coronation piece basically, but it is an homage to her. It's got thistles and clover and whatever the four flowers were that kind of represented her. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. Her reign at the time. It's really beautiful, and I will show it to you as I work on it a little bit more. But it is really where I learned to do embroidery, that one is, and that one was, Helen McCook. She's the other embroiderist that I told you to check out. Helen is excellent, and I took some gold work classes with Helen since then too, through the RSN. But Helen and Zena both work for various companies like the RSN, the Royal School of Needlework, the Crewel Work Company, Philippa Turnbull's company, and oh, blah, themselves. They do their own designs and they tutor themselves like through Zoom classes. And I feel like there's one other place I should tell you about that I can't think of what it is right now. But anyway, if you look up their name, Zena Casban with a K, Zinakazban, and Helen McCook. I put those in the feed before. Both excellent tutors. But Zena and I are working on a little collaboration using a piece that I bought from Erna Hiscock. If Erna ever sees this, she'll be excited. It's a silk shading piece that came off of something. I'll show it to you sometime in the shop. I'll show you on a Zoom. I mean, maybe next Sunday night, if I remember. You guys can remind me in the chat. It's a squirrel, of course, it's a squirrel. But I want to do it two ways. I want to do it with silk shading, so it's flat silk shading, just silks, in a format that I can teach you. And then I also want to do it where it's embellished, like the unicorn, for example. So if you think of that picture that I showed you from Kate Barlow of the unicorn, which is the other piece I took in Scotland, um, it originally was silk shading on the Feller mirror, and then Kate interpreted it into other types of surface embroidery with some gimp and other kinds of threads and stuff. So I want to be able to share that both ways. And where I'm leading with that is to try to give you some chances to do some of these techniques in a way that you're comfortable with. So anyway, we're working on that in the background. Um, and you'll have a chance to do some of that. We have talked a little bit about the Crewel Work Company projects and crewel work, but we also, I need a place for my love letters from Everett. Oh, that's so sweet. We'll have to get him to write some. Everett sends his love letters and objects that he creates. He really is a man of action. You know what I mean? So like he'll make me things, which is really sweet. Um, so those are his love letters. I don't know that he's written me a handwritten love letter, um, but he's shown me in a whole lot of other ways, which I think is just as important, if not more so. But yeah, Everett's pretty funny. Like, I don't know if I've told you this. When we were dating, I made him a beautiful embroidered box to keep love letters in because I do like to write little letters. And he immediately took it and put it on top of a shelf, and that is where it's been. Like, he treasures it, and he treasures it so much he won't use it. And I'm just like, that's not what I meant for that. So it's kind of entertaining. Um, anyway, enough about that. um, but so I might take you down that rosy path of a little bit of gold work and a little bit of embroidery if you guys are up for it. And if you just want to watch and enjoy what it looks like, I'm okay with that too. But it's not hard. It's a little tedious, but so is cross stitch, so is all the other stuff we do. If it were hard, I probably wouldn't be doing it because I'm not up for hard necessarily. I'm in for tedious. I don't mind tedious, and I really like to learn, and I think that's what's important. And I like things that are beautiful, and historical, and I think some of you might be there with me. So anyway, just keep that in mind. You might have a chance to do some of that stuff in the future, and then do be thinking also about crewel work. We've got all of the products from the Crewel Work Company loaded on our website. We've still got them in draft, but we're going to open those up sometime relatively soon for you to do pre-orders with. And then I'm going to be doing a project next year where I'm just going to be learning crewel work because I don't know how to do crewel work. And Philippa's going to help us a little bit with that. And there are videos out there. So if you haven't been looking at the Crewel Work Company, they've got some amazing stuff. And Philippa is a really fabulous person. And so goes the company, a very fabulous company, very good to do business with. And so, um, I think you'll enjoy that. It's all the same embroidery stitches. It's just how you do it and what you do it on. They're all the same. And so if you don't get anything else from all of this, I hope you walk away with that knowledge in your mind, is if you can do one stitch, you can do it in all the different formats, you know? So, um, and it's not, most of it is, I haven't done anything that I would say is hard except for try to knit. I don't know. I can't do the knitting thing. Jennifer is going to teach me though. Have faith in Jennifer. We're going to have a session where my mind is clear and we can sit there and she can show me. Jennifer's going to teach me to knit. She's already bought me some yarn and some needles. And so we're going to learn it. I think knitting's hard. That's the only thing I've ran up against that I think is hard. There are some things I'm sure I haven't done yet. I don't like needle lace. I got to be honest. I don't like it, but I'm going to master it. I mastered the chain stitch. I hated it for years. If you know me, you've heard me say that I hate chain stitch. I figured it out because Helen McCook showed me, and then Zena helped me practice it. And so it just takes people taking time with you and not giving up. Oh, I love career work. I hope so. I hope so. And we are going to end up with the wool. So one thing I saw at I think I mentioned it in the video at Lens of Madison's that they had Paternaean wool. So if you're a needle pointer and you've been looking for that, I thought it was gone out of business, and then I heard it come back, and they've got it, and that's fantastic. And they're small hanks. So if you got some old pieces that use the Paternaean wool, and it's, I know I'm saying it weird and fast, but it's spelled weird. It's Patteryan or something like that. Paternaean. Um, they're back, and so you can get that wool and finish your pieces or whatever pieces you inherited. Um, so that's great to know about that. And well, now Kendra, I have done a lot of videos on French knots because I happen to be a French knot lover, and I'm happy to teach you how to do a French knot. So I will get you going with that. Yeah, thank you, Sandy. That is how you spell it. Um, but we will have Appleton's Cruel Wool in stock soon so that you can use that. We're still going to do our other things. We're still going to keep doing our reproductions um, of uh, of our samplers and stuff. I have too many not to, but I do think it's fun to learn some new things, and so that's what we'll do. Um, we are going to be bringing in a few needlepoint kits because we have people. I mean, I'm not kidding you. Since last Christmas, it's almost every single day. And if it's not every day, it's every other day. Somebody comes in and asks us for painted needlepoint. And I feel so bad when we don't have it. And of course, we can't sell everything, but we're going to try to bring some kits in for the new year. Um, I'll be honest with you. I don't want to bring them in before the end of the year because I don't want to have to count. If you have seen our shop, whew, there's a lot of counting going to be going on there. And I'm going to count it by trade, but I call in all my friends. I call in all my favors when it comes to inventory time. And we'll be doing it this year too, but it'll go fast. It'll go fast. But still, it's a lot. So I don't want to add to that. And so it'll be next year, but sometime early next year, we're going to bring in some counted needlepoint kits, just a few, which probably won't mean much to you guys, but for the tourists that come through and other people that are looking for needlepoint, maybe it'll help a little bit. I like needlepoint, but I like counted needlepoint. I don't do painted really, but I do like counted. Um, I think my my beginning needlepoint video on YouTube, the last time I checked, which was about 6 months ago, it had over 30,000 views. So I was like, what? I just kind of blew my mind. And that is the course that they wanted me to teach at Campbell Folk Art School too. When I taught down there, it was beginning needlepoint. I actually taught intermediate. I didn't teach beginning, although I had beginners and they did fine. So I do like needlepoint, but it is counted that I like to do primarily. What else? What other questions do you have for me tonight? You're a zealot for French knots. Yeah, me too. I love it. I do. I think I've shown you all the little things that I brought over here to show you. So I can take some questions. It's about time though. I do want to move over and show you that. So can you see that? That mural on the wall? I think that's painted. It looks a lot to me like the people that painted the little boxes and stuff that you used to get Liberty Hill. I mean, it looks a lot like Liberty Hill stuff. So that's what I think that is. I don't know. I'll have to ask them if that's the people that did Liberty Hill. I'll ask when the shop opens up downstairs tomorrow. I guess I could have done it that way. That would have been better. Isn't that pretty? Just painted on the wall. And then so there's a little fireplace here, little couches and stuff. And then if I turn all the way around, you can kind of see the kitchen area. I can't see what you're seeing right now, but you see all my clutter on the table. I actually have like 3/4 of that table taken up with my stuff. And then the rest down the hall is the bedrooms and stuff. But I'll give you a good show of the shop, if not tomorrow, the next day. Tomorrow we are going to go back over to Madison and get some stretcher bars. And then we're going to come back over here. We're probably going to hit a bookshop and we're going to go out of this room because we've been up here for the whole day. And going to get out and about tomorrow. And then we're going to go see the shop, Country Sampler. And we're going to work on that pair when we get those stretcher bars and try to get that going. So I'm going to have to hit up Beth. I don't know when you'll see this, Beth, but know that I've been thinking about you. I wanted to talk to you today, but it was Sunday and I didn't want to bother you about that pair because I know you've stitched more than one. Beth is teaching it to her guild. So excited about that. Oh, there was something I wanted to talk to you about. Okay, so riddle me this. I'll tell you a funny joke. No, I won't do it. It is a funny joke, but it's a dad joke. I'll tell you another time. But think about this for me. So I just went through all the classes that we've got going on for next year. I'm really thinking about, and I might have Summer House Stitch Works. I can't remember if she said next year or the year after. I can't remember. But I'm really thinking hard about just coming stitch retreats versus another kit retreat. And my issue is in Asheville to do bigger than 24 people, it's going to cost me a lot of money, which means it's going to cost you money. And I don't really like that. But to do a come and sit and stitch, we've either got to get our building built and do it there, or we've got to go to a bigger space. And Asheville space is expensive. There just is no solution to that doesn't cost a lot of money. But I'm going to start hitting up my close friends at the Grove Park and the Biltmore and see if there's some options out there. But let me know either in the comments or in an email what you think about that. I know some of you can't travel or for whatever reasons you can't travel, but some of you can. But let me know what you think about that. Also, we're going to be kicking off some finishing days, which I know I promised that a while back, but we're going to be doing some of that, more tutorials online. I really want to finish some of the stuff that I have, and I feel like a lot of you are the same way, which is what this week is mostly about for my friend and I. But when I was pulling stuff out for this, man, I am buried in projects, big projects. And I love them and I want to stitch them. And so I'm curious as to how you really feel about that. I know that it's fun to meet designers and bring them in, but maybe we do something where we have guest designers come down and maybe they do an exclusive chart for us, which I believe is what Garon does, Garon Stitchery, for their Stitching in the Wild. They have designers create special charts and you can buy it if you want, but you're not obligated. And some of the designers are actually physically there. But they don't really have a project. And I just struggle when I think about more and more and more projects. All these things that I've talked to you about for next year, we're definitely doing. And I'm super excited about it. But at some point, I feel like at least twice a year, we need to have events where you can bring what you've got and either get help with it and get it finished or just hang out and stitch. And certainly we can do some of those virtually too. But I also would like to do some things where we do kind of studio time, where you've got some people who are good at whatever things, or maybe the designers themselves, and it's other projects of theirs. And, they help you through the finishing. But yes, we are still putting together the thread kits for the Jeanette Douglas Stitch Book, Lori. Good question. Um, yeah, I don't have them all in yet, but it's on my list. And so again, that's probably going to be that might be a next year start. We'll see. But yes, we are pulling that together, and we have something special for that too. So we have something that's being made that will be kind of fun. Because in the book, so Lori asked me about Jeanette Douglas's my stitching album book, and in the book, Jeanette has this silver charm on there that I think says Jeanette Douglas Designs. Well, we've got something different than that we're going to offer you. Um, so it'll be fun. But I'm taking my time with that because it's a big deal. So I think I'm going to run that project over all year next year, and we'll work on that together. So if you got the stuff and you're stitching it, that's great. If you're waiting for Gloriana threads, we've got those coming, so you can get those from us or from whoever, and you can still stitch with us on that book. But anyway, I would be very, very interested in knowing your very honest answer about if you had to choose. Um, well, I mean, just about, are you interested in, those things that I mentioned, like working through some past projects? I still want to do all the things that we're doing with all the people we talked about. And every year we'll still bring in, designers and do new classes, but I don't think everything we do has to be about a new project. I think some of the things that we do need to be about finishing projects. So maybe I'm feeling a little pressure here because, I did like show you 2 or 3 things that I was going to start this week too, as well as finish. So anyway, I would be curious in getting your feedback on that, either in the comments or online. And I think that's all I have for tonight. Thank you for coming to Potluck, because that's what this was. It was just talking about stuff. So we'll be back on. Oh, and I need to apologize for Friday night. I completely zoned on Fourth Friday this week, and I'm so sorry. I mean, it was on my mind. It was on my mind. It was on my mind. And then it was gone. And I was in the car driving to Wisconsin, and I literally did not think about it again until I saw an email from somebody today that asked me about. I thought Fourth Friday was Fourth Friday. And I was like, oh, was that Friday? And I went and looked at my calendar. I was like, I cannot believe it. And so I apologize profusely about that. And I would just do it this next Friday, which is Fifth Friday. And I think that's why I was thinking that it wasn't this week because it was another Friday in the month. But I'm actually going to be driving home because plans shifted a little, like I said, and I've got to be there for the shop. So I'm actually probably going to be driving home next week. So I can't do it. I can't really do it next Friday, but I'll try to make it up to you. Maybe we'll do an extra thing next month. The first Tuesday is the first. I think it's the first Tuesday is long dog stitch. So let me double check that. So you can always come to the long dog stitch. Well, I'm not seeing it on my calendar, but I'm pretty sure that the first Tuesday night is long dog sampler stitch. And I'll put a Zoom meeting out about that. And if you have the Fourth Friday Zoom meeting, it's always on that Zoom. I can't do that for this this Tuesday live because it changes every time. We are open on Wednesday. Open stitching would be great. Yeah, good to know. Yes, we are open on Wednesday, Laura. So I will be there. It'll be fun. All right. Well, that's all I have for tonight. More good things to come this week. Keep an eye on the social medias. And I also have a video to post for you of the trunk show from Romy and Simona. So I'll get their trunk show video posted. We have all the products online now, so you can go out and you'll be able to find all those things that you see in the trunk show. So thanks for joining tonight. Sorry it was a little bit disjointed, and I hope you had a good time. Hey, Lisa. Okay. Open stitch retreat would cost. Yeah, well, that's true. I don't think if it's open stitch, I don't think it would be expensive. That's the thing. As long as we can do it in a place where we can, afford. So that's the thing. We'll figure it out. But those are the things on my mind. So anyway, I hope you guys all have a good week, good stitching, and you'll hear from me more this week. Bye.